Welcome back to Sabah Fitness. Today we're going to answer the question of how do I build confidence in the gym when you feel intimidated, especially if you are new to the gym. Excuse my voice, I have allergies this week, so my voice is a little bit out of whack, so excuse that. So let's get right into this. Intimidated in the gym, especially when you're new or if you have been away for a little bit and you're just coming back, is totally normal, but you can definitely rebuild or build your confidence, especially when it comes to that. So we're gonna get into few practical steps and mindset shifts that are gonna help you build that confidence, and then next time when you get into the gym and when you go to the gym and start your workouts, these are gonna be things that you can keep in mind as well. So let's get into it. Step number one here, of course, is changing your mindset, looking inward, and of course focusing on yourself instead of comparing yourself to other people and things like that. So this means to build that confidence is just to make sure that you're focusing on what you're doing, and also realizing that a lot of people in the gym are just focused on what they're doing as well. Gym is a place for self-growth and self-development, and a lot of people are just too focused on what they're doing and their workouts instead of looking at you or staring at you. A lot of people might even look at you and you think they're staring at you, but they might just be in a distance just thinking about something else. So that is the first thing that we need to realize. And then actionable step for this one is, so step number one, actionable step is going to be, of course, making sure that we're looking inward instead of looking around and seeing what other people are doing or if they are looking at us. Second thing is going to be positive self-talk, and then third thing is going to be not to compare ourselves to other people. So we're going to get into the next steps here. Step number two is, of course, to start slow and build your basics. So this means making sure that in order for you to feel confident, especially in the gym, you have to, sometimes you need to know what you're doing, and if you don't, then that's totally fine. This is where you build your basics slowly, especially your foundational workouts and things like that, and then from there on gradually either add a little bit more or add more intensity, and just to make yourself comfortable in the gym. And when you feel comfortable and you know what you're doing in the gym, that's when you feel confident. I always say when you feel competent, that's when you also feel confident in what you're doing and things like that. So that would be also the actionable steps here. Is going to be number one, making sure that you're learning your basics, you're building your basics, especially your foundational workouts and things like that. Number two is going to be having a plan. When you do have a plan and you know what you need to do in the gym, it's a lot easier for you to either go into your little corner or whatever you need to do beforehand. So by the time you get to the gym, you know exactly what you are doing or where you need to be, basically, instead of just wandering around. And then number three, of course, is going to be making sure that you are progressing slowly and you're making sure that you're basically educating yourself in terms of what you're doing, things that you need to do in the gym. If you need to practice certain lifts like squats and deadlifts and things like that, that's going to give you a lot of confidence, because when you build that competence muscle, that's when you're going to get the most confident, especially in the gym, in yourself. Step number three here is one of my favorites, is making sure that either you find a buddy or a trainer in the gym that is going to help you, especially when you are at the beginning nervous, when you don't know what you're doing and things like that. And when you do have a buddy there or a friend there, it's easier for you guys to alternate. One person is doing something when the other person is doing something else. This is where I personally started. I found a friend in the gym, and we started working out together, having the same schedule, working out around the same time for years, especially at the beginning. And then once I felt more confident and I learned a little bit more, educate myself, and then I was able to just do my own thing on my own, and now I'm training other people to do the same. So the actionable steps, especially in this section, is going to be number one, making sure that you're finding a workout buddy. Luckily, I found my first workout buddy in the gym. The first few weeks I enrolled there, and so if you can, it's easier to just start with a small talk. If you see somebody, just say hi, be friendly. That's a lot easier, honestly, said than done, of course. But if you are not somebody who is friendly or open to meeting new people, just smile at them. A lot of people at the gym are very friendly and they are always looking for community and things like that. So it's a lot easier for you to make friends than other spots, I think, or other places. So this is where your best bet is to just find somebody that's already working out in the gym. If you guys are able to connect, have the same schedule, and then work out together, and that would be one of the best ways that you can actually make a community on your own as well. Second thing is going to be, if you don't have that, hire a trainer, hire a personal trainer that's going to help you make sure that you're doing the right thing things, making sure that they help you with the form and things like that. And then number 2, making sure that, you know, when you go to the gym, you're not nervous, you have somebody there already that's A, gonna show you what you're doing, and then B, you know, you can conversate with, you can ask questions, and they're also professional, they know what they're doing, so they're gonna be able to guide you, you know, correctly, basically. And then number 3, if you don't have any of those things or you don't want to do this, these steps, is gonna be finding a group classes. I actually did this at the beginning. I started from the Lifetime Fitness, so they used to have group classes running basically the whole entire day. So whatever my schedule allows, I would go. One of my favorite ones were the Zumba, and then there was like a, you know, like a boxing one. I really didn't like that as much, but I really liked the Zumba because at the time, still, I don't know how to dance, so I was able to kind of just, you know, move around and have a community there as well. So if you find something like that that you enjoy, then that would be a perfect fit, I think, for you as well. Step number 4 here is to learn the gym etiquette and then also familiarize yourself with equipment. One of the easiest way that you can do this, especially at the beginning, is have any gym that you go to at the front desk, they have people there. You can ask them at the beginning, especially if you're new, hey, can you show me around? And they are more than happy to do that because A, that's their job, and then B, most likely they are also gym rats and they enjoy doing that and talking to other people about gym stuff. So they will show you around, they'll show you like the equipments that you need to use. And this is also, you know, a lot easier because, you know, at the beginning when people start, they get nervous because A, they don't know the space, B, they don't know what they're doing, and then C, it also could be because, you know, they're just very nervous to just, you know, kind of look around and things like that because they feel like they're intruding. And so this is an easy way to just get yourself into the gym, have the, you know, the gym, either gym trainers or front desk people to show you around, show you what equipment you need to use. And then most likely they also always have free classes or free sessions, especially when you start a new gym. Take advantage of that, and they can give you, you know, 1 personal training session or 2 personal training sessions. That's when you need to take a note, and then whatever, you know, questions that you have, take advantage of that free session, and then also ask them to show you how the basic equipments, like, you know, the machines that they have there, how do they work and what muscles they work. And then so now you are gonna get that confidence in the gym when you, especially when you go to a new spot. So here's the actionable step in this section. Number 1, making sure that you're asking for help either from the front desk. Most likely if you just ask the front desk person, they will either, you know, holler at somebody and then they'll show you around, or they will themselves show you around. So do that. Number 2, make sure that you're learning basic etiquette. Basic etiquette. When it comes to the gym, this is things like when you know, when you get up from a bench or something like that, wipe down your sweat. Make sure you're putting away your, you know, if you have dumbbells or something like that around, don't bring everything around you, just do one at a time, and then once you're done, go put it back and then get another one. So basically make sure you rack your weights. And then the third thing is going to be making sure that you are starting light and slow, especially when it comes to the weight training. So that way you can A, make sure that you're doing the correct and proper form, and then B, you can practice your lifts as well. So that is in this section. Step number 5 is one of my favorites, is creating routines and sticking to it, especially when it comes to your workout. Make sure you have like a very light, not just even light, just routine that you can basically tackle, and make sure that you're doing that on a weekly basis. That way, A, like we said earlier, you're familiarizing yourself with the exercises and you're practicing the basic lifts, and then B, you are also making sure that you're doing it in a proper forms. And then when you do that from week to week, that's what what builds consistency. And once you have that consistency, that also is going to bring the confidence. Again, like I said earlier, when you are feeling competent about something, that's when you're going to feel more confident about it as well. And then also, in addition to that, you are building basically the habits of, you know, you working out on a weekly basis as well. So the actionable steps here is A, making sure that you are creating that routines and consistency, especially when it comes to your schedule. Work out around the same time every single week. So if you work out around evening, make sure you're doing that probably like every single day of that week, same time. And then if you are working out like 3 times a week, stick to that schedule as well. And then the next thing is going to be familiarize yourself with the actual workouts and exercises that you're doing. doing, and then stick to those routines as well. There are things going to be tracking your progress. Once you track your progress and start tracking your progress, A, you're going to fall in love with it, especially through pictures, and then B, you're going to notice things that you might have not noticed if you were just, going around the, without you tracking basically. So make sure you're tracking yourself with pictures. This is going to give you a lot more information, especially when it comes to how your body's tightening up, especially if you want to lose weight. And then once you are building muscle as well and you are seeing that definition, that's most likely also going to give you more, motivation to keep going and going to the gym and starting to lift even more heavier weights. Step number 6 here is going to be, of course, focusing on your form, not just the weights, especially at the beginning. Don't chase the weights at the beginning. Make sure you're focusing on your form. Make sure you're lifting with purpose, basically. Make sure you are doing the right things at the beginning, because this is when you are A, prone to injury, B, also you can accumulate movement recruitment that's incorrect. So make sure that you're doing the correct formats, especially when it comes to your form, and then keep practicing those lifts so that way that you're able to do those more and more, and then hopefully slowly up the weight as you go. Don't chase the weights, especially at the beginning right away, because that's going to hinder your progress, and then also you're gonna, like I said, will be more prone to injury, and we don't want that to happen. And so this is what the actionable steps in this section is. A, make sure that you are mastering your lifts. That means you're practicing the same things over and over again every single week, things like squats, and then making sure that you're using the mirror or even recording yourself when it comes to the form. I love recording myself. I've been doing this since I started working out, because A, it gives me like proper format, especially like when I'm looking at myself, the way I think I look versus when I look myself in the mirror, or even when I look myself in like the camera when I record myself and properly like assess how I'm moving. That really helps me, especially if I haven't done something for a long while, just to make sure that I'm doing the right things, and then also if there is any improvements that's needed, I'm adjusting right there and then going back again and then doing that again. So do something like that, and that really helps you basically not just know, but make sure that you're going to be able to do the right things right away. And then if you need to adjust, then you're going to see what you are doing incorrectly, and then you can address that as well. Third thing is going to be making sure that you're using online resources. There are so many resources. There are apps even that track your movements. So especially like when you're doing squats and bench presses and things like that, if you don't know how your movement pattern is and you are trying to make sure that you're moving correctly, there are apps that you can use to track your lifts, and that really is going to help you make sure that you're not like moving forward or coming forward when you're squatting too much, or if you are deadlifting, you're not like doing incorrect movements and stuff like that. So that really helps us a lot as well. I'm gonna try to link some of them in the description below, so make sure you visit there as well. And for actual ready to go workouts, as well as meal plans and everything else in terms of accountability and motivation and even guidance, make sure you go ahead and apply my one-on-one coaching. Link is going to be in the description below. Step number 7 here is set achievable goals and make sure that you're also celebrating your wins. Confidence comes from growth, and then this also really does help at the beginning, especially to reinforce that positive mindset. So making sure that we are celebrating smaller wins, and then also we are having and setting smaller goals. That way we're able to achieve those goals as well. Once you achieve something, you think you can do more and more, and that it also is what reinforces that positive habits of making sure that we are setting goals and then achieving them, and then setting them again and then achieving them. And then once you achieve those goals, just don't move on right away. Make sure that you're celebrating, you're acknowledging yourself for all the hard works that you have done, and make sure that you're celebrating that with hopefully with yourself as well as with other people as well. So actionable steps in this section is going to be set smaller goals. Once you set smaller goals that you're going to be able to achieve, like we said, we're going to be able to reinforce that positive habits, and then also making sure that we are achieving them right away. And then the second thing is going to be tracking those smaller progresses. So once we set the goals, we're going to track from time to time, making sure that we're achieving those goals. And then if we do need to adjust when it comes to that, then we are doing that as well. And then lastly here is to celebrate the wins. Make sure that you celebrate smaller wins, even if it's as small as you making sure that you achieve your goals of going to the gym and doing your workout today. That is also a win. Win is a win. Take it right away. Step number 8 here here is embracing the learning process. Gym, especially when you start working out, this is going to be probably an entire shift, especially when it comes to your lifestyle, especially when you start being continuous. And so making sure that we're embracing that learning curve, and this is also a personal growth journey as well. We are embracing that, and we are also adapting that as well. So making sure that, you know, at the end of the day, this is a new thing. You're learning something new. Nobody has been, you know, everybody that works out, everybody that looks, you know, decent, especially when it comes to their physique, has started from somewhere. So just like them, you're starting from here as well. And so don't be ashamed of just starting small. And if you need to do that right now, just go ahead and do it as well. So actionable steps here in this section is going to be embracing the challenges. The challenges is one of those things that gets ourselves out of our comfort zone so that we're able to grow and be, you know, more than what we are. And then also making sure that you're keeping that growth mindset as well. So that's also going to help you, you know, learn more, even, you know, finding other people's as resourceful, or, you know, asking questions and things like that. So make sure that you are keeping those two things in mind as well in addition to that. And step number 9, dress comfortably and wear things that you feel good in. I always say, when you look good, you always feel good. You guys always ask me, why do you always wear makeup in the gym? Because that's what I do. So if you want to do that as well, do that. But let's get into this section. So when you actually look good, that impacts how you feel. It impacts your mindset. It impacts the way, like, you have, you know, your sense of self basically. And this makes you more confident. When you look good and you are, you know, feeling yourself, that's gonna make you feel more confident. You walk in a way where, you know, you're with purpose basically. You're not just slouching around and things like that. And so especially in the gym, when you go to the gym, this really helps because it's gonna boost your mindset, and then it's gonna make you more likely to come back to that space because you feel good in that space. So personally, I like to wear more colorful, like more cheerful clothes, because that kind of tricks my mind to, you know, feel more cheerful. And the gym is sometimes a dark place. You know, some of the gyms always have black paints and things like that, so everything, you know, around you is black and dark. So when you have things that are a little bit lighter and things like that, that really does help trick the brain to be more happy basically, and then that makes you, you know, feel like when you're in the gym, you're in your happy place. Another thing is, when you go to the gym, don't wear things that are extremely tight that you cannot move in, and then also don't wear things that are extremely loose that you feel like you're gonna either injure yourself or hurt somebody else. So make sure that you are wearing proper clothing. That is extremely important. So the actionable steps here in this section is making sure that number 1, comfort is key. So make sure that whatever you're wearing, you're feeling good in it, and then also it's proper, you know, for the gym as well. And then the second thing is gonna be, you know, choosing things that are right for you. At the end of the day, I can't tell you what makes you feel good and what is right for you. That is for you to decide, but make sure that is also appropriate for the gym. You don't have to wear like a long dress that you, like a gown that you would wear outside to the gym. Make sure that it's a little bit, whatever you're wearing in the gym is a little bit snug, it's a little bit more, you know, tailored to the space basically. So that is that. Let's get into our final takeaways here. Okay, final key takeaways here. Making sure that we are focusing on ourselves, not other people. Most likely other people are not thinking about us. They're all focused on what they're doing. The gym is a place for self-growth, so everybody's there for the same purpose. So don't feel like you do not belong. Everybody belongs, so that is your space as well. Number 2 here is going to be making sure that we are kind to ourselves. A lot of the times, especially, you know, when we want to change our physique, our frame, the way we look, we might have that negative self-talk. So make sure that you're kind to yourself. Make sure that you're forgiving to yourself. We do that for other people, but sometimes I don't know why we don't do it for ourselves. So let's practice that. This is for myself and for everybody else as well. So make sure you're kind to yourself. Don't compare yourself to anybody else. At the end of the day, you're one of one, okay? And then lastly here is making sure that we are building confidence gradually and slowly. Everything that we have talked about in this episode is going to be things that are going to help you, you know, build that self-confidence. When it comes to, you know, the way you work out, the exercises that you choose, how you feel in the gym, when you are, you know, wearing clothes that you feel good in, making sure that you're asking for help when you need that, especially from, you know, if you need somebody to show you around and things like that, that would be also easy. Everybody in the gym is also extremely friendly. Definitely, just FYI, if you even ask me, if I'm in the gym and I'm doing my own thing, if you ask me for help, I'll be more than happy. And 99.99% of the people in the gym are also like that, because that's the gym community, you know, environment. Everybody helps everybody, because especially the people that know what they're doing, they understand what it feels like to be there. They know what it feels to, you know, be, you know, not knowing what to do, not knowing, you know, what's happening, confused, you know, doing the same things over and over again because they don't know what else to do. So everybody understands that pain, and so don't feel like you cannot ask for help. And then lastly here, make sure you guys go ahead and apply for the one-on-one coaching, especially if you want to get like that, you know, tailored service to you, especially when it comes to your workouts, when it comes to your meals, when it comes to, you know, you directly talking to me directly talking to you as well. Make sure you go ahead and apply that. The link is going to be in the description below. Also, make sure you like this video, make sure that you save it, make sure you share it with your friends, make sure you subscribe to this channel as well. We are building our small community. Until next time, make sure you wake up, take action, repeat. Bye!